Everyone, today we'll be tackling about inventory control models. Here is the subtopic under inventory control models. We'll be discussing about its important inventory decisions as well as the inventory control techniques, namely economic order quantity, reorder point, without instantaneous receipt assumption, quantity discount model, single period, dependent demand, and just-in-time inventory control. What is the difference between inventory and inventory control? Inventory control talks about the physical resource, anything that can be touched and can be converted into valuable assets. Example of it is a company's inputs and finished products, which considered as the core of this business. Whereas inventory control, it is about a scientific system or a process to which of keeping a right number of parts and products in stock to avoid shortage, overstocks, and other costly problems. Furthermore, inventory control techniques helps a company's owner to safeguard its company, wherein it maintains the optimum level considering their operating requirements and financial resources within that specific business. Here is the fourth step of the inventory planning and control system. The first one is the planning phase. Planning phase is considered with what inventory is to stock and how it is to be acquired, whether you have to manufacture it or purchase from other company. Forecasting. Forecasting talks about how you will sell the product. By that, you will use a historical data or previous data from different years and to estimate and predict customers' demand for a product or service. So, in other words, it's a process of making estimations about the data you have gathered over the years. And controlling, it talks about the models or techniques you have used. And the feedback, it is where a phase that you had figure out whether the data you have gathered in the previous years are effective, and if not, it is you have to provide a revising plan and forecast based on experiences and observation. Here is the inventory process, namely the input, process, and output. It is bootable naman, no? So input, it is the materials or items to be assembled. Then when it is done, it is a finished product or the output. And then the 5 uses of inventory. The first one is the decoupling functions. From the word decouple, it is about a knock-up mechanism bali. So, kana siya, it is about a manufacturer set aside extra raw materials and para siya sa kanang sa mga low stock situation nga para dili siya makastop sa sales or profit sa usa ka buyer or the buyer of that manufacturer. And the storing sources, it's simply like sa decouple. They stores raw materials and para po to not to prevent loose canal sales. Irregular supply and demand. When the supply of or demand for item is regular, storing certain amounts of inventory can be important. Quantity discounts. When you have to purchase large orders, you had offer a large discounts. And avoidance stocks out and shortage, it is a function of inventorying para dili ma-damage or dili ka malugi sa usa ka business, and by the help of understanding and the gathered information about inventory control models can be prevented. Inventory decisions. Here is the 2 fundamental decisions. How much to order and when to order. How much to order is pila lang imuhang orderon na item or product from a specific company or you have to manufacture it in order for that item not to be kanang damaged or rotten. And the when to order, it is important that you have to gather data on that specific year or date, month, that what item you have to sell. And the significant inventory cost of the items, it is simply of what or how much money you have cost on buying that items. Cost of ordering, it is talks about the transportation fee of your ordered items from different company to deliver it in your warehouse or anything or bodega. Cost of carrying or holding inventory. It is about the large amount of stocks that be stored in your warehouse, and um, it is kanang unfortunate because you have to lose sales since the large amount of items is still in the warehouse. Cost of stocks outs, it is indicates the lost sales and future sales because you don't have enough, or you don't store enough amount of items on since the customer are buying from other company.
So now, we will proceed to the next topic, which is economic order quantity or EOQ, which specifies on determining how much to order. So, economic order quantity or EOQ is one of the oldest and most widely known inventory control techniques. Research on its use dates back to a 1915 publication by Ford W. Harris. So, this is a model that focuses on inventory control or inventory management. This is commonly used to establish optimal inventory levels. This technique is still used by a large number of organizations today. It is relatively easy to use, but it does make a number of assumptions. So here, we have some of the most important assumptions. So first, demand is known and constant over time. Second, the lead time, that is the time between the placement of the order and the receipt of the order, is known and constant. Third, the receipt of inventory is instantaneous. In other words, the inventory from an order arrives in one batch at one point in time. Fourth, the purchase cost per unit is constant throughout the year. Quantity discounts are not possible. 5. The only variable costs are the cost of placing an order, ordering cost, and the cost of holding or storing inventory over time, holding or carrying cost. The holding cost per unit per year and the ordering cost per order are constant throughout the year. And lastly, orders are placed so that stockouts or shortage are avoided completely. So, when these assumptions are not met, adjustments must be made to the AOQ model. So, with these assumptions, as you can see, inventory usage has a sawtooth shape as in figure. So, in this figure, Q represents the amount that is ordered. Say for example, if this amount is 500 shoes, all 500 shoes arrive in one time when an order is received. Thus, the inventory level jumps from 0 to 500 shoes. In general, an inventory level increases from 0 to Q units when an order arrives. Because demand is constant over time, inventory drops at a uniform rate over time. That is referred to the slope lines in the figure. So, another order is placed such that when the inventory level reaches 0, the new order is received, and the inventory level again jumps to Q units represented by the vertical lines. This process continues indefinitely over time. So, inventory cost in the AOQ situation. The objectives of most inventory models is to minimize the total costs. With the assumptions just given, the relevant costs are the ordering cost and the carrying or holding cost. All other costs, such as the cost of the inventory itself or the purchase cost, are constant. Thus, if we minimize the sum of ordering and carrying cost, we are also minimizing the total cost. So here, in this topic, we are going to introduce two parameters that is included in calculating economic order quantity. First is the annual ordering cost. Simply the number of orders per year times the cost of placing each order. Since inventory level changes daily, it is appropriate to use the average inventory level to determine annual holding or carrying cost. So, annual ordering cost is equal to the number of order placed per year multiplied by the ordering cost per order, where number of order placed per year is equal to annual demand, which is denoted as D, and the number of units each order, which is denoted as Q, multiplied by the ordering cost per order, or C sub O. So, second is the annual carrying or handling cost, will equal the average inventory times the inventory carrying cost per unit per year. So, annual carrying cost is equal to average inventory multiplied by the carrying cost per unit per year, where average inventory is equal to order quantity, which is denoted as Q over 2 multiplied by carrying cost per unit per year, which is C sub H. So, to minimize total cost, the order quantity should occur where two costs are equal. By equating annual ordering cost is equal to annual carrying or handling cost, we get optimal order quantity, which is also be considered economic order quantity, is equal to the square root of 2 times the annual demand multiplied by the ordering cost divided by the carrying or handling cost. So, here, this figure shows the cost and order quantity graph of holding cost, ordering cost, and the total of these two parameters, where the vertical line indicates the cost and the horizontal line of the graph indicates the order quantity. Given this graph, we can observe that in ordering cost curve, as the cost decreases, the order quantity increases, which means they have an inversely relation. So, in other hand, referring to the carrying cost curve, we can see that as the quantity increases, the cost also increases, which has a direct relation. The lowest point on the total cost curve occurs where the ordering cost is equal to the carrying cost. As I have said earlier, to minimize total cost, given in this situation, the order quantity should occur where these two costs are equal, where we can see in the graph. Purchase cost of inventory items. Sometimes the total inventory cost expression is written to include the actual cost of material purchased. It is useful to know how to calculate the average inventory level in dollar terms when the price per unit is given. This can be done as follows. Using the variable Q to represent the quantity of units ordered and assuming a unit cost of C, we can determine the average dollar value of inventory. Average dollar level is equal to C multiplied by Q all over 2. So, now that we've done tackling about how much to order, we will now proceed to reorder point. We will tackle about when is the right time to order. So, the time between placing and receiving an order, called the lead time or delivery time, is often a few days or even a few weeks. Inventory must be available to meet the demand during this time, and this inventory can either be on hand now or on order but not yet received. The total of this is called the inventory position. Thus, the when to order decision is usually expressed in terms of reorder point or ROP. The inventory position at which an order should be placed, the ROP is given as ROP is equal to demand per year, demand per day multiplied by lead time for a new order in days, or simply D multiplied by L. Here is a figure with two graphs showing ROP. One of these has a relatively small lead time, where the other has a relatively large lead time. When the inventory position reaches the ROP, a new order should be placed. While waiting for that order to arrive, the demand will be met either with inventory currently on hand or with inventory that already has been ordered but will arrive when the on-hand inventory falls to zero.
So, good day everyone. My name is Major Almaata and I am going to discuss the economic order quantity without the instantaneous receipt assumption. So, when a firm receives its inventory over a period of time, a new model is needed that does not require the instantaneous inventory receipt assumption. This model is applicable when inventory continuously flows or builds up over a period of time after an order has been placed or when units are produced and sold simultaneously. So because this model is especially suited to the production environment, it is commonly called the production run model. In this model, instead of having an ordering cost, there will be a setup cost. This is the cost of setting up the production facility to manufacture the desired product. So the figure above will be our production run model. So let's proceed to the annual carrying cost for production run model. As with the EOQ model or our economic order quantity model, the carrying cost of the production run model is based on the average inventory. And the average inventory is 1/2 the maximum inventory level. However, since the replenishment of inventory occurs over a period of time and demand continues during this time, the maximum inventory will be less than the order quantity or our Q. We can develop the annual carrying or holding cost expression using the following variables. So our Q will be the number of units per order or our production run. The CS will be the setup cost. CH will be holding or carrying cost per unit per year. The P will be the daily production rate. The D will be the daily demand rate, and the T will be the length of production run in days. So, to get the maximum inventory level, we have the formula of total produced during the production run minus the total used during the production run. So in total produced during the production run, we will have the daily production rate times the number of days of production. Then to get the total used during production run, we have daily demand times the numbers of days of production. So the formula will be PT minus DT. Since total produced is equals to the number of units per order, or our production run is equals to daily production rate times the length of production run in days. So we know that our length of production run in days will be the Q, or the number of units per order, over the daily production rate. Maximum inventory is equals to PT minus DT. So our maximum inventory level will be the daily production rate times the number of units per order over the daily production rate minus the daily demand rate times the number of units per order over the daily production rate. So in summarized, so our maximum inventory level formula will be the number of units per order times 1 minus the daily demand rate over the daily production rate. So the range inventory is 1/2 of the maximum. We have average inventory is equals to number of units per order over 2 times 1 minus the daily demand rate over the daily production rate. And the annual holding cost will be the number of units per order over 2 times 1 minus our daily demand rate over the P, or the daily production rate, times our holding or carrying cost per unit per year. So, in order to get the annual setup cost, we will have a formula of our daily demand rate over our daily production rate times the setup cost, and the annual ordering cost will be daily demand rate over our number of units per order times the the ordering cost. So, determining the optimal production quantity, when the assumptions of the production run model are met, costs are minimized if the setup cost equal to holding cost. We can find the optimal quantity by setting this cost to be equal and solving for Q. Thus, our annual holding cost will be equivalent to annual setup cost. So the formula will be the number of units per order over 2 times 1 minus the daily demand rate over the daily production rate times our holding cost. So equivalent to the daily demand rate over the number of units per order times the setup cost. Solving this Q, we get the optimal production quantity. So, in getting the optimal production quantity, the formula will be the square root of 2 times the daily demand rate times the setup cost over the holding cost minus the 1 minus the daily demand rate over the daily production rate. It should be noted that if the situation does not involve production but rather involves the receipt of inventory gradually over a period of time, the same model is appropriate, but the ordering cost replaces setup cost in the formula. Proceed to the quantity discount models. In developing the EOQ model, we assume that quantity discounts were not available. However, many companies do offer quantity discounts if such a discount is possible and all of the other EOQ assumptions are met. It is possible to find the quantity that minimizes the total inventory cost by using the EOQ model and making such adjustments. When quantity discounts are available, the purchase cost or material cost becomes a relevant cost as it changes based on the ordering quantity. The total relevant costs are as follows. The total cost will be the material cost plus the ordering cost plus the carrying cost. So, the formula will be the DC plus the D over Q plus the ordering cost times the Q over 2 times the CH, where D is the annual demand in units, CO is the ordering cost of each order, C is the cost per unit, and the CH will be the holding or carrying cost per unit per year. Since the holding cost per unit per year is based on the cost of the item, it is convenient to express this as CH is equals to IC, where I is equals to holding cost as percentage of the unit cost. So, quantity discount model, for each discount price or the C, compute EOQ with the with the formula of square root of 2 times the annual demand times the ordering cost over the IC. So if EOQ 6 minimum for discount, adjust the quantity to minimum for discount. 2Q is equals to minimum for discount. For each EOQ are adjusted Q, compute total cost. So the total cost will be the DC plus the demand over the number of units per order times the ordering cost plus the number of units per order over 2 times the holding cost. Choose the lowest cost quantity.
Single period inventory models. A single period inventory model describes a situation in which one order is placed for a product. At the end of the sales period, any remaining product has little or no value. This is a typical problem for Christmas trees, seasonal goods, bakery goods, newspapers, and magazines. In other words, even though items at the newsstand are ordered weekly or daily, they cannot be held over and used as inventory in the next sales period. So our decision is how much to order at the beginning of the period. Okay, so talking about business, we all know that there are certain products, goods, or services that are seasonal. When we say seasonal, kana nga mga products is kanang demand lang siya, high demand lang siya during a specific occasion or a specific season. For example, pag musulod ang Burr months, no? Ma-feel naman ginato ang Christmas season. So, that time daghan kayo mangita og mga kanang pang Noche Buena, no, kanang mga prutas, mga ham, frozen goods, Christmas trees, mga anything related sa Christmas, no, mangita na mga tao. So that is what we call as seasonal goods. Okay, so next, newsboy problem. The single period inventory model is often explained in terms of a newsboy problem. So he only has one chance to order because the papers only have any value on the day they are published. The next day they are worth nothing. If he orders too many, he'll have to absorb the loss of the unsold papers, and if he orders too few, he will have lost profits and annoyed customers. So getting the order quantity correct is how the newsboy makes the most profit. So kaning newsboy problem pasabot today, by using the single period inventory model, no, we will be able to get the exact or the right amount of number of kanang order bitaw, right quantity of order nga kailangan nato buhaton, himon or orderon para mas makaginansya bitaw, mas makaginansya sa ato business bitaw. Para aning newsboy dili pwede nga magpalabi siya order of newspaper kay kung daghan na kaayo, dili na mahalin. Pag gamay ra kay siya kita. So para mas masabtan nato, here are the consequences of ordering too much. Stocking too much of a seasonal item can lead to large losses for a business. So in the case of a Christmas card, for example, sales go to zero on the day after Christmas. So kani one good example is ang Christmas card, or para sa gi-mention gay na Christmas trees, Christmas cards, anything related sa Christmas. Pagdaghan na pud kayo ang company, pagdaghan na kayo gi-stock or gihimo nga Christmas card, malugi sila, no, kay seasonal raman na siya. Meaning pag human sa Christmas season, very little na lang mangita na ng mga products or items. So mas madak-an sila sa kanang maintenance kung gusto nila na i-keep nga products. Unya pagdaghan kay sila gihimo, dili gid siya mahaingan nga mahalin tanan. So another consequence is the cost of ordering too little. So pag gamay ra pud kaayo ang gi-order or gihimo sa isa ka company, ang tendency is that ang customer is kanang dili ma-satisfy ang iyang gipangita, no, anang dili siya malipay kay kumuadto siya ng company or for example kanang atindahan magpalit siya nya wala, dili available ang product. So the tendency is mas mangita siya og supplier, no, sa lain nga company or sa lain nga store. So that would also be a loss sa isa ka company pag kulang ang mga stock nila. So by using the marginal analysis approach, this is the best way or method for us to identify what is the right amount nga kailangan nato i-stock, no. So marginal benefit is the additional profit achieved if one additional unit is stocked and sold. Mo ni siya ang posible nimo nga makita. And marginal cost is the original price, okay, of the first unit to be sold. So the only kanang formula nga to gamiton is to get the net benefits, marginal benefit minus marginal cost. So for example, the marginal benefit of an additional cookie is $5. Mo ni siya ang posible nimo nga sale sa ikaduha nga cookie, while the marginal cost or the original cost of the cookie is $3. So i-minus lang na siya nimo, you will get a value of $2. So since net benefits are positive, it would be in the favor of the consumer to purchase an additional cookie, meaning pag as long as ang imong net benefit is positive, it's a good decision for you to add additional item or additional, or yeah, for this example, additional cookie, no, kay positive man imong net benefit. So ingana lang kasimple ang formula to get the marginal the net benefit by using the marginal analysis, no. So I hope it is understood.
So for the continuation on this topic, I am about to discuss the procedure in material requirements planning, or the MRP. So what is MRP? MRP, or Materials Requirements Planning, is a production planning, scheduling, and inventory control system used to manage manufacturing process. So the first step is that we have the bill of materials, or the BOM. So in this step, it identifies the components, describe the components, and indicates the number required in the production of one unit of the final output. So for example, my product is going to produce or to sell is a chair. So the materials needed to make a chair is that we have the legs, we have the seat, and then we have the back support to make or to have a product chair. So this it is an example of bill of material, no? And then the next step is that we have the material structure tree. What is material structure tree? Material structure tree is a visual representation of the breakdown of the number of materials needed for a certain product. So atong product is chairman, so number of quantity atong needed. So for the legs, nag-need ta, no, duha, and then crossbar. Sa seat, isa. Then for the back assembly, para sa sandiganan, is that we have side rails, and then crossbar para ligo na nga to ang side rails, no. And then back supports kanang sandiganan, number of quantities is 3. Then for the next step, or step number 3, is that we have the gross material requirements plan. So gross material requirements plan is this is a time schedule that shows when an item must be ordered from supplier, when there is no inventory on hand, or when the production of an item must be started in order to satisfy the demand for the finished product at a particular date. So kinahanglan nato og schedule, no, if wala na tayong mga on hand na mga materials para sa ato ang production. So kay kinahanglan nato ang schedule kay para dili ta magtagi-tagi og pamalit, no, sa item. So dili kaayo magastuhan, tibo ang ato ang pagpalit sa mga materials nga ato ang needed. And then para pod ma-satisfy ang demand sa ato ang finished product on that particular date. So the step 4, we have the net material requirements plan. Net material requirements plan, it refers to quantity requiring actual logistics. After allocating the required quantity, of item to inventory and release orders. So in this step, kinahanglan nato ang kung pilay kadaghan no sa ato ang ma-produce na mga products after nato magbuo ana nga particular product para sa ato ang mga mupalit. So tanan ang sa material requirements planning or the procedures nga para dili kayo ta magastuhan o mahasil kung unsay ato ang buhaton man galing na mga particular product.
So just-in-time inventory control is producing or procuring the right items at the right time and in the right amounts. No, one of the underlying ideas of just-in-time is continuous flows. O mo ni gitawag na one piece flow, meaning na imong mga gimove ang isa ka product through every step of the process without grouping it to a batch. No, kini na pamagi no is para ma-reduction ang work in progress to a minimum o para pod mag continuously ka magka-provide og finish na items to the customers o para pod maka-avoid sa mga disaster, no? O dapat is stack time, a concept that describe the rate of which good na kailangan i-produce na ma-meet sa customers demand. Di lang pod kay mag-continuously tang mag-produce og goods, but you also want them to leave your factory in the same rhythm as your customer demand it. So makita na to ang kaning Kanban is this method is I'm talking about is called Kanban, that is Japanese term consisting of two words, kan meaning is visual ug and ban which means card. More precisely, mao ni ang scheduling system that aligns inventory levels with actual consumptions, no? So mao ni ang kuan for step o Kanban. So makita nato rin sa figure na siya mga arrow, no, from storage area to use area to producer area. No, ang kaning kuan no step o Kanban, the first arrow is na siya ay kuan ay full containers of products, good or items ug uban pagikan sa storage area gihatod sa user area pagkatapos ug hatod sa mga items ibalik ang containers with the same Kanban sa storage area para ang katong empty na container is ihatod pud sa producer area para i-refilled with its Kanban card back to the ug ibalik pud dayon after sa producer area is ibalik yapon dito sa storage area. So morning 4 steps of Kanban no, magbalik gyapon siya from storage area to producer area. So balik gyapon siya. So mo no 4 step of Kanban. So ang minimum sa 2 containers are required using Kanban system. One container is used at the area and other container is being refilled for future use. In reality, there are usually more than 2 containers, no? Dapat daghan pa containers para mag continue ang atong atong mga items. In addition, being simple is easy to implement system. The Kanban system can be very effective in controlling inventory cost and uncovering production bottlenecks, no? No, effective kayo ni Kanban system no in controlling inventory. No, para ang inventory item is ma-arrive sa user area before na kailangan, no? Next is implementing a Kanban system. A number of work roles or Kanban rules are normally implemented, no? Ang kaning ko ano, ang one of typical Kanban rule is that no containers are filled without the appropriate Kanban, no? Ug isa pud ka rules is each container must hold exactly the specified number of parts or inventory items, no? Well, that's all my report. Thank you for listening.